Imagine a land of ancient mountains, sparkling seas, and a rich, vibrant culture. Now imagine this land, the Korean Peninsula, sliced in two. A stark line divides it, separating families, ideologies, and even the flow of information. This is the reality of North and South Korea, two nations born from a single lineage yet locked in a decades-long stalemate. What led to this enduring division? How did one nation unified for centuries become a focal point of global tension? The answers lie buried in the ashes of World War II and the subsequent ideological struggles that reshaped the world. To understand the Korean divide, we must journey back in time to an era when the Korean Peninsula was a unified entity, under the rule of a single dynasty. Let's embark on this historical exploration to comprehend the events that cleaved a nation and continue to shape the geopolitical landscape today. For over a millennium, the Korean Peninsula was unified under the Joseon dynasty. This era, beginning in the 14th century, saw the flourishing of Korean art, culture, and innovation. A shared language, history, and cultural identity bound the Korean people. However, this long period of unity did not mean Korea was immune to external pressures. Influences from neighboring China were significant, and by the 19th century, Japan began asserting its dominance in the region. Japan's growing imperial ambitions eventually led to the annexation of Korea in 1910, marking the end of the Joseon dynasty and ushering in an era of Japanese rule. This period was marked by oppression and exploitation. Koreans faced cultural suppression, economic hardship, and forced assimilation policies. Yet, it was also a time when the seeds of Korean nationalism and the desire for self-determination were sown. Little did the world know a global conflict was on the horizon, one that would forever alter the fate of the Korean Peninsula. World War II's eruption in 1939 had profound implications for Korea. Japan, allied with the Axis powers, used Korea for its military campaigns in Asia. Koreans were forcibly conscripted, fueling resentment against their colonizers. In 1945, Japan faced imminent defeat. Korea was divided into two zones of occupation. The Soviet Union administered the North, and the US oversaw the South. This division evolved into a geopolitical fault line. The Korean Peninsula became a pawn in the Cold War. The Korean War, a nation forged in conflict. The fragile peace on the Korean Peninsula shattered in 1950 when North Korean forces, backed by the Soviet Union and China, crossed the 38th parallel and invaded the South. The Korean War had begun, a defining moment of the early Cold War. The United States, under the United Nations, intervened in support of South Korea. The war raged for 3 years, claiming millions of lives. The fighting was fierce, marked by large-scale battles and air raids. The war ended in 1953 with an armistice, but no peace treaty. It solidified the division between North and South, turning the 38th parallel into a heavily fortified border, the Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ. The war left a legacy of mistrust and animosity, shaping the relationship between the two Koreas for decades. A divided peninsula in the 21st century. Over half a century after the Korean War, the Korean Peninsula remains divided, a stark reminder of the enduring legacies of the Cold War. North Korea, under the rule of the Kim dynasty, has evolved into an isolated and authoritarian state, with a centrally planned economy and a strict emphasis on military power. South Korea, in contrast, has emerged as a vibrant democracy and a global economic powerhouse. It boasts a thriving technology sector, a dynamic cultural scene, and a strong alliance with the United States. The stark differences between the two Koreas are a testament to the divergent paths they have taken since the war. The division of Korea continues to have significant implications for the region and the world. North Korea's nuclear ambitions and unpredictable behavior pose a constant threat to regional stability. The humanitarian situation in North Korea remains a concern, with reports of human rights abuses and widespread poverty. Understanding a geopolitical flashpoint. The story of the Korean divide is a cautionary tale about the enduring consequences of conflict, ideology, and geopolitical rivalry. It is a story that underscores the importance of diplomacy, dialogue, and understanding in navigating complex international challenges. As we look to the future, the fate of the Korean Peninsula hangs in the balance. Will the two Koreas find a path towards reconciliation and reunification, Or will they remain trapped in the shadow of their divided past? Only time will tell. For more insights into this fascinating and critical geopolitical landscape, be sure to like and subscribe to Express Econ Geofinance Insights.